Hello, strength and conditioning class. Today I have my final project video, which is the low bar squat, and we will be incorporating this exercise from the starting strength method of technique. Now, a couple points to go over with the low bar squat. It is different from the high bar squat in not only the setup, the form, and the overall bar placement, which we'll get into. So starting off, before we even get under any weight of the bar, what you want to do is you want to find your perfect form, or you want to find where your depth should be and where your technique should lie. To do this, simply get into a Saigon squat, squat in the woods, squat stretch, whatever you want to call it. Have your feet at shoulder width, space them out just a few more inches outside shoulder width, duck your feet until you find a comfortable spot, and then sit in this position. While you sit in this position, you want to put your hands at your chest, elbows between your knees, and you want to push out with your elbows and drive the knees on a 45-degree angle away from your body, push them out. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow your torso and your butt to find the perfect depth for the low bar squat, where we can get our glutes involved and our hips involved instead of just the legs. Now, as you can see, his torso is a little under 45 degrees. That's a little too flat for my personal liking. We'll correct him here in a second, and he will get his torso just a little bit up. That is around the area you want to be in. You don't want to be tall up and down with your torso like you would a high bar squat, which is considered a 90-degree angle when you have the bar on your back. You want to put your torso in between your thighs and your hips. And when you press them out with your elbows, you want to put your torso at almost a 45-degree angle, probably even a little bit under 45-degree angle, And in doing so, you can put the bar lower on your back while still hitting the depth. As you can see right here, his back is a little bit more upright, but it's still at that perfect near tabletop back, but not tall like a high bar squat back. Once again, the feet placement should not be narrow, and they should not be regular. You start regular to find your kind of groove point, and then you adjust from there. Everybody's is different, but everybody will have to move their feet and get their knees a little wider in order to hit the perfect depth and engage their hips and back. So once you've done this exercise and this warm up, then you can approach the bar. When we approach the bar, we put our hands at chest height. The bar should be aligned right above the chest at the collarbone, high mid-sternum area. And then you're going to place your hands around the middle of the bar, which where the knurl meets the smooth portion of the bar. As you can see, he's just outside shoulder width where the knurl and the smooth meet. He's going to wrap his hands around, checks the bar with his chest. Now he's going to place the bar right under the neck on top of the traps, but we're not going on top of the traps and the base of the neck like we would a high bar. We're placing the bar lower than that. As you can see, it would be right where the middle of your traps are. You're then going to trap the bar with your hands, placing the bar in between the trap muscles and under the neck. And now we have our hands at a good shoulder width, right outside shoulder width, in order to have some flexibility in that shoulder muscle to place the bar on our back. Now, once you've done this, you unrack the bar, step out, and you perform the warm-up exercise in which we did earlier. This time, you're not going to place your hands and elbows between your knees to push your knees out. You're going to just simply use your hips, and you're going to have to use your brain in order to push the knees out and get our depth. As you can see, when he racks this, you can see where the bar is placed a little bit higher on his back. He'll go to a side angle here in a second. So pretty much when you get into the side angle here, as we'll see, bad editing job by me. As you can see, when we get to the side angle and we get into this low bar squat with the bar on our back, nothing changes from when we did the warm up with the air squat or the Saigon squat, except for now we don't have our hands in between our knees. Okay, we have the bar with our hands placed on the bar, and therefore we have our hands placed on the bar. We are going to be able to still perform this exercise with our torso at that 45-degree angle, and then we're going to use our butt to go straight down and straight up. We're not going to use our hips to go back and forward in a thrusting motion. You're going to have your butt in the position where it starts. It's going to drop. Your torso is going to be between your knees. Your hips are going to be engaging in this exercise. Your torso is going to be between the knees, in the hips, at a 45-degree angle, and your butt's just going to go down up like an elevator. You're going to use your hips to engage in this exercise. You're going to go down up, torso is going to stay the same, and your torso, if anything, will maybe move slightly down, but you have to be conscious to keep your chest just enough up where you're at that 45-degree angle, and in doing so, you will go butt down, butt up, and your torso will keep the bar on its back. You will go down and go up and use all hips, glutes, and backside muscle, posterior muscles instead of lifting like a good morning motion. Because if you don't engage your chest and keep it at that 45-degree angle, and you do not lift with your butt going down and up, and you don't use your torso as a kind of a lever, you would say, you will do more of a good morning motion, and that can put a lot more stress on the back because we're getting heavier weights, and then again, we're not even squatting at that point. So as you can see, when he steps out here, the bar is at his mid-trap muscle. Okay, he's got his head up. His head should be looking down when he squats, but as you can see, the bar is at a 45-degree angle. His butt goes down and up. His hips are pushing his knees out. He's engaging them. His chest is going in between them. The bar is at the perfect height. He's hitting his depth, and this is a long femur athlete. He's over 6'2". And he's obviously, as you can tell, he's more of a lanky individual. So this low bar squat is good for his long femur muscle, and he can still hit his depth. He's got the bar on his back. He's not compromising his back by bending over in a good morning motion, and he's just performed the low bar squat. He needs to do a better job of meeting the rack and the uprights, not trying to find the catcher. When you hit the upright, you'll hear the click, and that's when you know you can drop it into the catch. Finding the catch, you could miss. The percentages are lower in racking the weight properly. Some common errors with this exercise, like I said earlier, is making sure that torso doesn't go down too flat and you're compromising and in a good morning position. The school of thought in order to keep this from happening, like I said, is you have to be cognizant of keeping the chest up. You have to breathe, brace, lift the entire time, flex your abs, and in doing so, the breathe, brace, lift method will keep your abs tight, which will keep your chest up in that perfect position in order to stay at that 45-degree angle. This has been the low bar squat, starting strength method by Peyton Batterford.